Ricky, a change of scenery this weekend, not just for players but for coaches alike, and for you coming back into the Premiership Rugby Cup, it must be really exciting.
Yeah, it is. I think if you were in the club on the Monday, after a tough result the weekend, and you saw the energy that this group of players have brought, over the 2 days we've been in training so far, you can see that the guys are really excited about playing. And I think, like in the past in the Prem Cup, it gives coaches the opportunity to step up and to put their stamp on things, but also it gives a great opportunity for a group of players that necessarily might not have got game time, but also pushing for selection to get minutes. And there's a real buzz around the club. There's real excitement about obviously the training, and now we're building into Bristol at the weekend.
Rob talked about the frustration that's in the camp at the moment, especially with home form and just the way you're going about the Premiership. He said it's probably a nice time to have a break.
I think it is. I think for the group of players obviously played at the weekend that are off now and having a little bit of a break, and the coaches as well to just take a bit of downtime and reflect, I think gives them an opportunity to look at where we have been a little bit inconsistent in how we're playing. But also then for the group that have probably been a little bit frustrated in other ways in terms of not getting minutes and opportunities, it gets them the opportunity to come in and lead and be part of something building to the weekend, which they necessarily don't have when those Premiership weeks are coming back to back. So from that perspective, there's a group of players there that are really hungry and are really looking forward to a competition that we love and we attack, but also to have their individual challenges that lie ahead for them.
We've seen in the past how this is used as a stepping stone for players to go on to greatness. We saw in the first group the sort of Dickies, Sladeys, Knowleses. It's moved on through the years, the Simmons brothers, Townsend, etc. There's a new group now that have their chance.
Yeah, there is, and I think that's what's really pleasing about this competition. Yes, you can pick strong sides, and that's challenges it in itself if you're playing a stronger team, which is part and parcel of the competition, but also it does give the opportunities like your Sam Maunders, your Jack Walshes, your Dan Johns, those guys to really come in and put their hands up. They're training really well as a group, but then they get to put it onto the field in a Chiefs shirt. A lot of these guys now are getting minutes. There hasn't been A-League, so they haven't been playing in those A-League structures, but they have been playing at their loan clubs and developing really nicely that way. But they actually now get to put a Chiefs shirt on under our ethos, our beliefs, our banner, and then in front of hopefully what will be a really good crowd in a local derby is the challenges that you want for these young players and for the senior guys that are in there as well.
You've talked about the loan clubs and the link with the university. That's been a pathway for many, many players over the years, and it continues to be. How important is that?
It's massive in their development. I think prior to COVID, we had the A-League games where those guys could come back in from their loan clubs or the university and play. Obviously, after COVID, we haven't had the A-League, so those loan clubs have been a massive part in terms of their development, in terms of them individually improving. It's been a big part of this last block. Now they've obviously been building to these Prem Cup games. So we've got 2 weeks now with a core group of players that we can build something, hopefully performance-wise, but also special. And when we come back into the latter stages, we'll be in a strong position, hopefully.
It's a strange one with this competition. You don't know what personnel will be on display, but you know what will come from Bristol and their threat, won't you?
Yeah, we haven't looked at necessarily who's going to be playing. We've looked at themes around how they play. And a spectator who watches Bristol on a Friday night knows that they're going to be a run first mentality side where they're going to keep the ball alive. They're going to try to put offloads in around their big ball carriers. They've got a maul game that we know we need to attack and focus on. So we know the themes around it, but then what we have done is we've had those key themes around what Bristol do, but then we've spent most of the week now just looking at us, getting excited about what we're going to bring to the game, how we're going to put our attack on to them, and then defensively, obviously, when they've got the ball, how we can pressure them and squeeze them that way. So there have been a little bit around Bristol, but we've always in the past based it around what we're going to do and us, and that's been the focus for the week.
Youngsters will be excited, but equally there'll be senior boys there that have been itching for game time that want to get out there and show what they can do. Yeah,
definitely. Sean O'Brien's going to be in our centre partnership, and he's fallen in that trap of basically not being able to go on loan, but also then just missing out on some opportunities around the Premiership. So he hasn't had too much game time over this last period. So for him, it's a real good opportunity to get some game time that way and to really push what's been really pleasing for him, a real good training block. And then to be able to put it out onto the pitch is going to be really good. And then there's obviously a core group of players that will be in and around the squad that have played Premiership Rugby, and then obviously then are dropping down as well. So that's what's so exciting about the competition. You get senior players needing game time, injured players coming back, a core group of young players that are part of their development pathway, and then you bring them together, and then it's something special, and they can do that.
And from your own perspective and some of the other coaches, your chance to take control.
Yeah, it is. It's the same really around the Sean Bryant situation, where as coaches, when we have the A-League, we get the opportunity to put our stamp on the A-League side, and then you have your snippets around the training weeks and the Premiership side. But for myself and Hayden and Gareth Stevenson's going to come in and run part of like the kick battle side, and Gareth Elliott running the forwards, it gives us an opportunity to put our stamp on it. And the same, we've probably been itching for these 2 games as well, because it's part of our development, and it's opportunity then to develop other coaches around that as well. So from a player and coaching perspective, that's what's so good about this competition.